Thomas Jefferson wrote his own version of the Bible with all the miracles edited out, and was attacked as being godless by John Adams in the 1800 election. Just ignoring all of that, Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, Lincoln said Christianity was not his religion and was openly an agnostic or an atheist to his friends. Like, this has been recorded history. And Martin Luther King Jr., who was also a socialist for the record, but Ben will never tell you that, letter from Birmingham jail. Is that the one he plagiarized most of? Or was that something else? No, that was his college thesis. Not insulting King with that, for the record, just saying there's more to this than Shapiro points out. I know, a Republican looking at things in simplistic terms, who would have thought? Civilizations that have rejected Jerusalem and Athens have collapsed into dust. The USSR rejected Judeo-Christian values and Greek natural law. And a lot of other things. Subsiding to a new utopian version of social justice, and where there was a very strict hierarchy and the leaders were chosen by friends of the Politburo. Clearly what social justice warriors want. And they starved and slaughtered tens of millions of human beings. There's also, partly because of a thing called the Truman Doctrine, which we can argue about all you want, for the record. The Nazis rejected Judeo-Christian values and Greek natural law. I thought we were talking about why they failed. The Nazis didn't fail because of that. They failed because they fought a three-front war. You ever heard don't fight a two-front war? Well, Hitler fought a three-front run. And even then, for the record, Hitler openly called himself a Catholic. His marriage to Eva Braun, despite the fact everyone in that room was going to kill themselves in a day, was a proper Catholic ceremony. He made a deal with the Catholic Church so that his birthday would be celebrated by them. That was the first treaty he signed, for the record. But okay. And they shoved children into gas chambers. I hate to be that guy, Ben, but that's not why they failed. That's why they were morally abhorrent. But that's not why they failed. They could have had a successful society and done that. The problem is, their society also fought a three-front war that didn't work very well. And Hitler was not a very confident military general as it was. Or competent, my bad. Venezuela rejects Judeo-Christian values and Greek natural law. He said the line. And the citizens of their oil-rich, it isn't oil-rich anymore, most of the oil has been taken, nation have been reduced to eating dogs. Wait, so do a lot of countries. South Korea does that. Are they morally abhorrent? Someone should tell the U.S. to stop putting troops on their border. We are in the process of abandoning Judeo-Christian values and Greek natural law, favoring instead moral subjectivism and rule of passion. What does that even mean? This is the thing with Ben. He's really good at saying things that sound smart but never actually mean anything. The fact is, every translation of the Bible comes down to one guy's opinion. Every version you've ever read has been edited in at least some way. Unless you somehow have a copy of the original version and can read Latin fluently. And if you do that, Ben Shapiro, then I will be convinced of whatever political ideology you have. Because at that point, you're a scholar beyond any belief. So show me your original in Latin version of the Torah that you can read fluently. And I'll buy anything you say. I'll be your biggest fan for the rest of my life. I'll ditch all my previously held ideologies. But you can't do it because it doesn't exist, and there hasn't been the original copy present, at least in public knowledge, for thousands of years. The most commonly cited translation of the Bible is typically the King James Version, which was written by a king, literally. So I don't think I need to go into detail about the biases there. Why do you think it says, I'm not making this up, that only kings are allowed to engage in any form of polyamory or polygamy or adultery? No one else is allowed to, but the king can have his own harem. And we are watching our civilization collapse into age-old tribalism. Yup, these laptops really reminding me of the Stone Age. Individualistic hedonism. Aren't you a libertarian? And for that matter, there is no one who isn't a hedonist on any level, unless you honest to God hate everything about your life. Ben, you write books about morality because you enjoy it, I assume. That would make you hedonistic in that scenario, especially considering there's no guarantee anyone's going to buy it. I mean, for you there is, because you're a big name. But at first there wasn't. When you published your first book, you were a columnist for like, what, a year if that? And moral subjectivism. I just debunked that point. We believe we can reject Judeo-Christian values and Greek natural law and satisfy ourselves with intersectionality. No one actually believes that. How do you satisfy yourself with intersectionality? I'm honest to God curious. Someone explain that one to me where Ben thought that. Or scientific materialism. Well, the scientists clearly can. Or progressive politics. Well, the progressives seem to think so. And we've succeeded at doing so. Or at least we've succeeded at becoming... This fills me quite a bit. I enjoy doing this show. The main difference between me and Ben is Ben seems to think you need a purpose for every single thing. This show is not the word of God, it's the word of Ephrom. And I try and back up said word with as many facts as possible, but at the end of the day, this is just what I've gotten from the data. I'm not infallible, and if I write a book saying I'm infallible, someone please call me out almost immediately. Or authoritarian governance. Haven't you defended anti-sodomy laws in the past? Haven't you defended bans on same-sex marriage in the past? How are you not an authoritarian, at least in that scenario? It's not a switch you can turn on and off. Or naturalistic solidarity. With that statement, I assume Ben will finally support open borders. We can't. The West is special, and the right side of history, Ben Shapiro bravely explains that it's because too many of us have lost sight of moral purpose that drives us each to be better. How about the fact that we're all worse off, including ourselves, if we aren't better? Or the sacred duty to work together for the greater good. Aren't you a capitalist? That's Marxist rhetoric. Or both. A stark warning and a call to spiritual arms. This book may be the first step in getting our civilization back on track. Isn't that what Pat Buchanan wrote about like a decade ago? And ran on like 2 decades ago? So, in conclusion, Ben Shapiro is very angry that the secularists keep, I don't know, stealing his morality? Can we make that a meme? Don't steal Ben Shapiro's morality. I'm Ephrom, and good night. The video you just watched was in 2 parts, and you may be wondering why that is. The answer is simple. I'm a bit of a dummy sometimes who forgets to check how much data my laptop can actually store before I hit record. Whoops.